I'm Christian Dummett. I'm the Executive Director, Head of Career Centre at London Business School. I've been at London Business School now for 10 years, having previously enjoyed a career in finance for 27 years. So, like all of our classes, the class was very diversified, as you would expect. So in total, we had 514 students, 89% of which were international. They were represented by 65 nationalities. 36% of the class were women, and the average age was 28. I would say on average, there was probably slightly less than 6 years of work experience across the class. There are many highlights in the report, which is quite comprehensive, probably our most comprehensive report that we've produced to date, with a lot of detailed analysis. 94% of the class received an offer within 3 months of graduation. And of these, 37% went into consulting, 27% went into finance, 29% tech, and 7% diversified sectors. 28 students started their own business or chose self-employment. Amongst our top recruiters, the large consulting firms, McKinsey, Bain and BCG were our top recruiters, followed by Amazon. That said, we had 248 unique companies who hired our students. 55% of our students switched location, 58% of them switched sectors. And I think very interestingly, 98% of our students seeking an internship received an offer. I don't think it's changed much at all, to be honest. We've always been a magnet for international students, both from the EU and beyond. There's always a market for talent amongst blue chip companies and others. And I would say that actually COVID has had more of an impact than Brexit. And even then, we have exceeded our own expectations by adapting to the changed market. Well, I think apart from anything else, COVID has upended the world of work in terms of remote versus office working. And that has required a new skill set to be developed amongst the working population. I think, obviously many people had these skills anyway, but they have come very much to the fore. I would say resilience is certainly one of those things. Comfort with ambiguity, which has always been an issue, more so than ever, as people have fewer people they can bounce ideas off. And the last one, I think, is the whole realm of self-motivation. I think understanding how to pick yourself up from a low point, which obviously aligns itself with resilience as well, but then re-motivating yourself to get on with your work from your home base, as opposed to being motivated by those around you in an office environment. Not really. I mean, the market's always evolving, isn't it? So in some respects, Brexit actually improved the prospects of international students, as there's now a level playing field for all international students, whereas before EU students had carte blanche to work in the UK and throughout Europe, and international students had to apply for sponsorship. That's now changed, and everybody comes in as an equal. And therefore, beyond the EU, in particular, those students have gained. The EU hasn't lost, because we now have the 2-year visa, of course, which enables people to stay on after they graduate from business school. I mean, I would also say that London has always been and always will be a multidisciplinary professional hub and a real magnet for human capital. And that really means that the UK will always be a number one choice destination. In fact, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the World Economic Forum produces research around the magnetism of global cities, and London has for the last 10 years remained the number one city as a destination for professionals to work and live. Yeah, our MBA destination sectors have remained largely stable over the years, I would say. Tech has grown the most over the last few years, largely at the expense of what we call the diversified sectors, so that's non-tech, non-banking, non-consulting. Finance recruitment has remained strong across all our programs. Indeed, we have a Masters in Finance program, which in particular has been very successful over a long period of time now. So I wouldn't really say that Brexit has impacted the market at all. At the time of the referendum, there were concerns the job market would change, but I wouldn't say that has been a result of the vote. COVID probably has impacted the job market more than anything. But who would have thought remote working would become such a big thing, right? I would say people from non-European destinations might have been interested in a career anywhere in Europe, and indeed they can still achieve that. I mean, we have contacts across the whole of Europe, and we have alumni throughout Europe, and we have students who successfully go on to continue their careers in Europe. The market in the UK has been particularly strong, and I think if the opportunity is there on your doorstep, why not take it? We do encourage our students to explore all opportunities, whether they're in the UK, whether they're in Europe, Latin America, Asia, North America, and indeed Middle East and Africa, of course. So we're always making sure that our students think about what is right for them, where will they really thrive, where's the best destination for them, and then continuing their search there, and we'll support them wherever they choose to go. Yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, we are constantly evolving, responding to market needs, particularly in the provision of professional development skills required in the modern workplace. So, what's changed over the last few years? Technical, so coding has increased. Modelling has always been something that's being demanded, which we introduced when we needed to. Transferable skill sets, the resilience, the self-motivation, which I referred to earlier, are prerequisites for home working. So we're constantly looking at what skills are required in the workplace. We're constantly talking to recruiters in that regard. And indeed, this afternoon, I'm talking to somebody who's done a lot of work and research in the area just around the future of work. So we're constantly scouring the market and talking to our stakeholders and also our contacts to understand, how do we stay ahead of the curve in this ever-changing market for talent. And finally, I would say on this particular point, we're helped enormously at London Business School by having faculty members such as Linda Grattan, Andrew Scott, Herminia Ibarra, Isabel Fernandez-Mateo, Dan Cable, who are thought leaders in the careers domain. Yeah, the changes in the visa regulations over the last couple of years have actually been positive for us. The government introduced the 2-year graduate visa for professional students coming out of universities, including our own. And indeed, you can see that reflected somewhat in the fact that 63% of our graduating MBA class stayed in the UK, which is significantly higher than it has been in the past. Typically, we were closer to 50%. I would say there's a real willingness from companies to recruit diverse, multicultural talent, and we're a natural source of talent in this regard. We're on the doorstep of these companies in the UK. They can come visit us anytime during the day. They can visit us virtually, and our students can go and speak to them and network with them, and that is enormously helpful in terms of helping them secure employment in the UK post-graduation. I don't think much has affected the demand for London Business School from an international perspective at all, really, over the last couple of years. As I said earlier, I think at the time of the vote, there was some concern that things might change, but actually the market settled down very quickly and our numbers stayed robust and our students carried on coming. I think, we're quite unique amongst top schools in the UK for having a 2-year MBA. And I think if you want to transition career and change geographic location, the opportunity to intern during the summer in a new industry is pretty key to success. And that's one of our biggest draws and recognised globally for the opportunities it provides. As such, I would conclude that international perception has changed very little.